Peace, y'all. This is Chuck West back for another episode of Art Inspired Arts. And we are here in Chicago, broadcasting from here to Cleveland. Got a few from the Ladies Pond fam ready to do his thing. Take your shit, my friend.
On Earth, sometimes I feel like an ambassador. Everything's in flux, except for the capacitor. The energy's been cut, I must attach a catheter. All I see is massacre, maybe I'm the rapturer, sending you to heaven on a mattress made in nitrogen. My tactic is to heighten men until we're all enlightened, then increase my glycogen for the rising tide that hides within the minds of men, not inclined to even try to climb the fence. While you try to sense what I condense in sentences, time points collide and masses find apprentices. I try to keep things private until after I'm content with them, but fluctuations happen, and in time I won't remember them. What up, guys? Simon said.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Chuck?
I'm doing incredibly well, especially thanks to that verse you just spit, man. Always got the fire, dude. I haven't seen you in so long. Sometimes I forget, but thankfully you got your new album out, man. Why don't you tell people about the new album, Perpetual Student?
Yeah, so new album out called Perpetual Student. SimonSaid.bandcamp.com if you want to check it out. So it's basically a culmination of a little over a year's work, just shaved down to 10 songs. And like most of my projects, and as you might infer from the title, it's just sort of about growth. The process of always learning. I mean, it's also titled Perpetual Student because I'm going on year 8 of higher education. So it seems like there's no end in sight, but mostly just about the process of growing and adapting and learning every day. So yeah, go check that out. Got featuring some people from the Pond, Blaze and Dat Business, some Indianapolis cats, Landon Wordswell, whole host of producers and stuff. So I think it turned out good. I think it's my best work yet by far.
All right, cool. And like I was telling those who are watching, Simon Said is in Cleveland right now. That's why we're broadcasting from Google Hangouts. So Simon, let the people know, since you've been in Cleveland for a while, but you were also here in Chicago for a while, what would you say is the biggest difference between the Chicago hip hop scene and the Cleveland hip hop scene out there?
I would say that Chicago just has much more of a scene altogether, much more of a community, at least in regards to alternative hip hop or boom bap hip hop, whatever you want to call it, the lane that we sort of exist in. There's just more of it there. I've met a lot of good people out here since I've been out here, and I can't judge too much because I spent, almost a whole year on the shelf due to an injury. But I've met some good folks, so shout out to Network, Archie Green, and Fresh Produce, and my guy Imani Cove. Those are some people that I've met out here that are making really good hip hop and are making moves, and they're a little community and they're a part of something that's out there, that's out here. But Chicago, as we talked about earlier, there's just more there. It's easy, it's easier to build a community because there's just so many more people out there that share your interests and your goals and are like-minded. You know what I mean? Just sheer numbers game. So Chicago's really special. Not to say that Cleveland isn't. I think it is a special city, but I haven't found that same type of community that you saw from Mad Science and the Pond and Lilies and from 606 over at Sub T. I just haven't seen anything like that here.
Okay, you plan on starting something like that there?
Yeah, I wish I had the time, man. I'm definitely trying to bring Mad Science out here to Cleveland. Got a show out here for the tour that Blaze and I are going on this summer. Working with a guy, Wallace, shout out to him as well. He puts on a lot of good hip hop shows out here. So yeah, I mean, I'd love to bring that essence over here to Cleveland, but whether or not I'm going to have the time to do it while I'm still here is another question entirely.
And what an essence you have, man. For those who don't know, back when Simon Said was here in Chicago, he and Blaze would put on shows, not just for Lyrics and Libations, but they would put on other shows at Lily's where they would have MCs performing, they would have baked goods, they would have Super Nintendo tournaments. Man, I know you're an old school video gamer, dude. You get time to play games there in Cleveland, or are you spending more time with your studies? I know you gotta get through school and all that, so I know video games can't be your top priority, but do you get time to play still? Because I know you love Super Mario Kart for Super Nintendo, among other things like Donkey Kong and other Mario games and whatnot.
Yeah, no, unfortunately I don't get to play all that often. Every now and again, I'll get a moment, but most of my spare time, what of it I do have, I try to push towards music. I mean, most of my spare time the past several months have been pretty much solely on booking the tour and getting Perpetual Student done. So yeah, so when I do get spare time, I prefer to spend it on music these days.
Okay, that makes sense. Talk about booking a tour. Now that's something that I'm trying to do or trying to get started anyway. So when you're in a place like Cleveland, I mean, I know you're going to be doing some shows there for the tour, but as far as spots to actually perform, like what would be some really good spots in Cleveland to just start touring for?
Right. Well, so when you're picking places to tour, there's a lot of variables that are involved. For example, you know, if you're not touring with a bigger name, then you obviously don't want to perform at a bigger venue, because even if you do get it booked, you don't want to be remembered as the guy who brought, you know, let's say you're headlining and you don't really have a following out here in Cleveland. You don't want to be the guy who brought 13 people to a 200-person capacity venue. You know what I mean? So you want to look for a smaller scale space if you're doing a smaller scale tour. But in terms of venues, I live very close to a venue called the Grog Shop that, you know, A$AP Rock and Homeboy Sandman, the Hail Mary Mallon tour, they came out there and sold the place out on a Wednesday, and it was super dope. And I've also seen RJD2 there. I've seen Brother Ali there. I saw, I think, Slum Village, you know what I mean? So that's a really cool spot. It's called the Grog Shop. And then where I'll be performing in June is called Mahal's, which is actually like an old bowling alley that's been converted into a bowling alley venue combo. And as you may know or may not know, I'm a huge fan of bowling, so that's like the perfect marriage of my two favorite things to do. So I'm excited about that. Oh yeah, I'm a big bowler, man. Or at least I used to be. I don't really have time for it, but back in high school, I joined the high school bowling team because, like, fuck it, you know what I mean? And it was great, and I fell in love with it. And then towards the end of my undergrad, I was bowling like almost every day because there was like this bowling alley near me that had like quarter nights. You know, it's just crazy. I went to Purdue, so in West Lafayette, Indiana, there's like nothing else. You know what I mean? So it's a, you know,
I'm glad you brought that up, dude, because a couple years ago, I would try to get my friends or convince them to go out to bowling alleys with me because I haven't bowled in years and I really want to again. Oh, right. And a lot of them just don't seem to want to bowl. And it wasn't until just recently, like last week, that I actually had a friend who said he was actually interested in bowling. So it was like bowling has kind of dwindled in popularity. I remember in the 90s and early 2000s, it seemed to be a really big deal. Everybody wanted to bowl and play the arcade and have a slice of pizza and a soda and all that. But today, bowling is just not as interesting to people as it used to be. Why do you think that is? I mean, as someone who bowls a lot, why do you think that's happening?
That's a good question. It probably relates to the whole video gaming thing from earlier, where there's just other things to do that don't cost as much money. You know what I mean? And as a result of bowling decreasing in popularity, so the bowling alleys, or the newer ones, they're jacking up prices, right? They're trying to double as nightlife or restaurants to bring more people in, and are therefore charging more. So, you know, that's going to make it more available to certain populations, but for other people, that's going to push them away. You know what I mean? So I think it's just, you know, a bowling alley is, you know, you have to have a pretty substantial real estate for that. You know what I mean? Quite a bit of maintenance goes into that. So I think there's just a lot of costs. So it becomes a risky business for the actual business owners if you're not going to bring people out consistently to be there. So yeah, but I love it, man. I really do. I've got my balls in the closet, ready to roll whenever.
Things.
Yeah.
But so yeah, because I remember back in the days, like you would always go to you'd go bowling, and then you just go over to the side and maybe like play Tekken 2 or something like that.
Right. Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
back in the 90s when you would just want to play, and it just seemed to have a lot of hype to it. And now I see somebody. There's like 2 bowling alleys that I'm aware of in Chicago that are them outside. They're very flashy looking, but then you go inside and people are either playing pool or drinking a beer, and there's nothing wrong with that, of course. But no one's focusing really on the lanes anymore, dude. It's
right.
Oh,
yeah, for sure. That's unfortunate, but I'll always be a bowler.
I'm glad to hear that, dude. So.
Also, it's really fucking hard to tear your Achilles when you're bowling.
If people aren't bowling, what are people doing as an alternative now? You know, because I know you were saying people or bowling alley management are actually like bringing bowling and maybe like bars together, or what you said, like trying to fuse them together to get people in. You know, so I think, from what I've seen, more people just want to go out and get drunk, man. That's what I see.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, so I think, so people are more often than not want to just go out to the bars, club, whatever, which is why I think bowling alleys have tried to mimic that. So people, even if they're not coming in for bowling, at least the establishment itself has people coming in and out of it, you know, drinking, eating, whatever. But yeah, you know, people, you know, I think technology has made it easier for people to not have to do anything at all and be okay with that too. You know what I mean? You can never be bored again because of Netflix. You know what I mean? You can just be there can just be a constant intake without ever leaving your apartment. You know what I mean? You're constantly fed stimuli. So yeah, I mean, you know, I feel like one of the last reasons people really consistently go out is to just like meet a mate. You know what I mean? Just like the very primal thing that you can simulate through the internet, I guess. You can jerk off all you want, but at the end of the day, you're still gonna, if you're single, go out to the bar and try and hook up with someone at some point. You know what I mean? So I guess you can rely on basic evolutionary need to reproduce to keep social face-to-face interaction alive.
Right, because you need someone to bring back to your house so you can watch Netflix together, right?
Right, exactly.
I think I'm one of the few people who, although I watch YouTube a lot, I don't really watch Netflix like at all. You know?
Oh,
and
I do.
I personally am trying to get out more and be more social with people face to face, which may be why I don't mess with Netflix that much. But the whole Netflix and chill thing, I'm sure you've heard of that. I think I'm one of the few people who doesn't do that. I'm more vinyl and chill. Like I'll chill at a girl's house just to play some records or something like that. But as far as watching a movie, I don't know. I don't watch movies very much anymore. And as far as I go into the theater, like my parents just went out to see the new Miles Davis movie. You know? And of course they're from a previous generation, so they still go out to have a good time. But a lot of us we're staying in because we're so used to this new technology, and we have a better handle on it than our parents do. So since we're staying in, and we got Netflix and all that, there seems to be no reason to go out. but I just don't want to be stuck indoors, man. You ever feel like you're stuck indoors?
Oh yeah, yeah. If I'm in a particularly bad like downswing for whatever reason, just stressed out or whatever, and I realize like, well, this rarely happens because I'm go to work all the time, but like, you know, like I realize like I haven't left this enclosement for far too, like I need to get the hell out of here and just like be a person that exists in context to other people, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like if a tree falls and no one was around to hear the sound, like, do I even exist right now? Like I've just been like stuck inside here staring at this computer screen, eyes bloodshot, you know what I mean? So I definitely, yeah, I'm more in your camp of just like needing to get out every now and again.
Yeah, and especially here in Chicago, where a lot of people, even in the hip hop scene, I've heard a lot of people talk about how a lot of artists here, although there are plenty of us, we don't seem to want to really vibe or interact with each other in a very personal way or on a very personal level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've heard this from other folks that I've interviewed. I've experienced it myself, and it seems like it's almost counterintuitive to what hip hop is meant to be. Right. You know, just as far as getting out to the people and interacting with them, because that's what hip hop is supposed to be about. At least that's my take on it. But what do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, one of the biggest or most important qualities about hip hop to me is the community. You know what I mean? Like, virtually everywhere I've gone, the people closest to me, or you know, the people I feel close to or build meaningful relationships with, is in some way, shape, or form because of hip hop. You know what I mean? So hip hop created a lot of my community outside of, you know, my family. And you know, for, you know, Lyrics and Libations, you know, every week we had at least a few people come out and interact and rap together and freestyle and be silly and laugh and jam and have a good time. You know what I mean? Like, you know, a lot of people, and obviously I was gone for almost a whole year of Lyrics and Libations existence. So I don't know exactly how the dynamics changed after me, but what a lot of people missed out were the very early stages of Lyrics and Libations, where Garrett Burris and Matt Norris, shout out to those guys, they occupied the night with us. And so we would just jam out with them. And it was just this really collaborative and fun environment, a really spontaneous environment that was just really cool. And I miss it all the time, man, because that was something really special. But, you know, I think, hip hop should be about the community and building with each other. You know, I think to a degree, not all personalities are going to mix, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Not every person you meet is going to be your best friend or your best man at your wedding. You know what I mean? But as long as you have those same ideals and those same goals, then, yeah, you should be getting together and working with each other and collaborating and building something. You know what I mean? For no other reason than that it's fun. You know what I mean? Let alone what you can do to maximize on the potential of whatever you start. But, you know, just the process itself is just a good time.
And I remember those jams with people like Garrett and Matt, how different genres used to come together to create something just off the cuff. And since you left Lyrics and Libations, we were able to do that for a little while, but then people like Garrett and Matt and Brian started going on to do other things. So then the spotlight really shined on the MCs. And since you left, we got a good number of new MCs, as I'm sure you know. Like, shout out to Lily's Pond, man. And we've really grown lyrically. But as far as bringing back the live instrumentalists to come jam with us, that's something that I would really love to see brought back, and I'm sure Blaze B would love to see it as well. Shout out to Blaze.
Yeah, for sure. And shout out to all the people who did start regularly attending the event and supporting Mad Science and what we do. Hope you guys appreciate the work that guys like Blaze and Sir Chuck West have put into, I don't think a lot of people think about the fact that, we were there week in, week out, doing that for no monetary gain, and strictly for the love of building something and having a creative space for people to come and be just that. You know what I mean? So I hope people are appreciative of what you guys have been doing, and I hope and I just want people to know that we're definitely, even though I've been observing from afar, appreciative of people supporting the movement.
Sure. And there are people who are waiting for our move. So once we know where we're moving to, we'll let you guys know.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Of course, we look forward to the next time you come back to Lyrics and Libation, Simon. So,
well, you'll be there. You'll be performing. Still need to lock down a few more acts into the bill, but I'll be in town for Memorial Day weekend, and Friday, May 27th, we'll be doing a show at Lily's. In the spirit of Lyrics and Libations, I definitely want the first hour of it similar to what the Streets and Soul has been doing, having that be just open mic to the people. But we'll be bringing some talented folks from Indianapolis and from Bloomington, Indiana, and it should be a good time. And then I'll be back again a couple weeks after that for the June 11th for the stop of the Great Escape tour with me and Blaze.
All right, man. Looking forward to that. Well,
yes,
I know one thing you enjoyed doing is topic freestyles. So I couldn't let you leave without doing a quick topic freestyle. Now, I know I already sent you the beat. So for those who don't know, this beat you're about to hear is Aesop Rock's None Shall Pass. Classic beat, if you ask me. And I'm going to give Simon a person, a place, and an activity. And Simon's going to go off the cuff about that for the last couple of minutes. This is art inspiring art.
Switch it up to keep me spontaneous.
Absolutely.
All right, here we go.
Cool. All right. So for your topic, you are. Oh, is it playing?
Yeah, but I couldn't hear you, so I want to hear the topic, and then I'll go in.
Okay. So how about this?
Oh, still can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
None. Hold on. Let me throw my headphones in.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Got it?
Yeah.
All right. So this will be a funny one. You are Dennis Rodman horseback riding in Cleveland.
All right. All right. All right.
Dennis Rodman horseback riding in Cleveland. Looking for.
All right. Dennis Rodman horseback riding through Cleveland.
Looking for a wife.
Looking for a wife?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Check, check. Check, check.
What you got, man?
Oh, who's that on the horse? It's me, of course. Got the crazy hair. I play for the Lakers, play for the Bulls. You know that I care to find a wife. Hope she says yes, but you better let me wear the dress. When it comes to the nuptials, you know, I'm gonna be mass consumption at your function. Dennis Rodman, and I'm fucking bumping uglies with your lady. Yeah, you know that I'm kinda crazy. I've been overseas and around the world, but now I'm just looking for a girl. Riding through the city, they call it the key. A wife, that's what I need. Please help me find her. I don't want to have to rewind the horse, make it turn around. We just driving straight and we going down. Prospect, looking for a prospect. Yeah, and I'm off topic for a bit. Just let me rant. I'm better than Kevin Durant and any other basketball player today, because they didn't play the way that I play, which is intense. You ever hear about sex intense? It's intense, and I had it with the lady in Cleveland in the back lot of the Big Eagle, and you know I got no equal. Yo, the people, they need to be with me, and they will see that I'm writing the storyboard so easily, and I just be Dennis Rodman, B-E-Z.
Oh, wow. Simon said.
It's been a minute.
Wow. No, man, you killed it. I'm glad. Well, everybody.
That was a good topic. Props, hat off to you, sir. That's one of the better ones I've gotten.
Shit, hats off to you. I'm glad you were here to do it. So, everybody, this is Art Inspiring Art. My name is Chuck West. This has been my guest, Simon Said, a.k.a. D-Cat. Say what's up one more time, brother.
Yo, much love to everybody. Showing support. Check out the music. And be looking out for dates on the tour because I may be in a city near you.
Near you. And remember, his newly released album is called Perpetual Student. You can check it out on Bandcamp. What's the name of your Bandcamp website again?
Just simonsaid.bandcamp.com.
Okay.
You can also get it through, if you just go to inkescape.com. Shout out to the Ink Escape family, but you can just go to inkescape.com and the first thing on the homepage should be a link to my album as well. So whatever's easiest.
Cool. Now let the people know how to spell Ink Escape just in case, all right?
Ink Escape. INKISCCAPE.
Okay, so for those who, just so y'all know, Ink Escape, it's not escape as in ESCAPE, it's ISC.
So it's the word escape with an I instead of an E and the word ink in front of that.
Right.
Just a dope little hip hop collective that you should check everyone's music out.
Absolutely, man. Okay, well, everybody, I'll be back next week with another amazing guest. In the words of my mentor, Ralph Smart, everybody, stay well, stay healthy. Peace. See y'all later.
Peace.
We out.